Welcome back to SYWK Podcast. I hope you enjoyed my previous episode, which was all about fitness. If you haven't, check it out and then come back to this one. Since you all know, SYWK Podcast has only one rule, and that's no topic is off limit. If you would like to share, or if you know anyone who would like to share or talk about anything, please feel free to contact me. You can directly message me on Instagram. I will leave the link in my description. Anyways, for today's episode, my guest is someone who is talented, tall, dark, and handsome. He is the one and only Desmond Fernandes. Yeah, guys, sorry, it's for this week and for many more weeks I don't have any guest. It's just me and you guys. Today I will be sharing my personal experience on how I started believing in God and also my first paranormal experience. So if you enjoy the story, you know what to do. Like, share and subscribe. So without wasting any time, let's get started. This story is so peaceful and horrifying at the same time. I'm getting goosebumps even while sharing it with you guys. I can clearly remember the day to date. I was around 8 years old and it was during the early 2000s. My family used to stay in a small town called Naigaon, which is in the outskirts of Mumbai, Maharashtra. I grew up in a Roman Catholic family and was a regular member of the church in Naigaon. I don't wish to name the church, but however, I was also the altar boy and used to go for Sunday school every week. For people who don't know about Sunday school, it's Bible studies for kids, and altar boy is someone who acts as an assistant to the priest during the church service, especially in the Roman Catholic Church. However, even though I was a regular member, but somehow, I don't know why, I could not really feel the presence of God in me. As a child, I used to only read my prayers, but never really could understand. But after this incident, my life really changed. So this happened in the month of May in the year 2001. Like always, on Sundays, I used to attend Sunday school, which was around 8 am, which went for an hour. The class got over by 9 and then it followed by Sunday Mass celebration. After the service, we had the altar boy meeting, which got done around 12:31 pm. Generally, we friends used to wait back to chit-chat, but that day it was something different. When I and my two friends came out of the church, we could not find anyone out there. It felt like we were standing in a desert. The wind was blowing and no one was around. We did find it strange but ignored it since we were the last to leave from the meeting. As you all know, I'm a big fan of the horror genre and I always had an interest in understanding all about the paranormal. I and my friends decided to have a challenge. It was simply to touch the big cross which was at the end of the graveyard, for which we had to pass all the graves and come back. It was fun and interesting, but now I know it was the worst decision of my life. We entered, and as I said before, there was no one around and it was blowing like crazy. No doubt the graveyard was close to the sea, but that day it was something different. We started walking together. We were a bit scared as we were walking through graves on both the sides, but we still wanted to experience the thrill and chills. Like people always say, graveyards are haunted places. However, suddenly while walking on the left-hand side, I noticed that one headstone of a grave, which was in a shape of a cross, fell down due to the heavy wind. I don't know why and how, but I stopped and went to that grave, picked the cross and pushed it inside. I felt a bit weird after that. I still remember It was a new grave because the mud was still wet and fresh. While all this happened, my friends did not realize and they continued walking. I got a bit scared and ran towards them. They asked me if everything was fine since I looked terrified. We continued our walk, touched the big cross at the end of the graveyard, and then we were returning back. And guess what I noticed? The headstone of the same grave was fallen again. I did get scared, but something again pulled me to go and fix back the cross-shaped headstone. Till then, my friends reached towards the entrance. The minute I realized that I was alone out there, I ran and straight went home. Seriously, I was so scared and terrified. I really don't know, but I could feel something different in me. However, I reached home somehow, and that's where it all began. Out of nowhere, I felt sick, high fever. I could not even eat or drink anything for at least 2 days. I was totally blank and don't remember anything. My parents did take me to the doctor, but there was no signs of improvement. And now, the important part of the story. As I said before, I had passed out for 2-3 days, don't remember anything, what's happening in the house, don't even know where I was sleeping, in the bedroom or in the hall, nothing at all. But suddenly, I got up that evening and walked a few steps, reached near the TV table, and I found the Holy Bible. And the minute I touched the Holy Bible, I felt like God touched me. He healed me. In simple words, I felt so positive and I got okay the same moment. The fever went down, I got my strength back, and from then I started understanding God's word and prayers meant something to me. I really don't know what it was, but all I can say is that this was my experience on how I felt the presence of God in my life. I know a lot of people think that you should not read, watch and listen to anything related to paranormal. But I always tell myself, and now I am telling you guys, that if there is good, there is bad. Always remember, God is always greater than the demon. Here I felt the presence of God in my life because of evil. And that was my peaceful and horrifying story. Well, thank you so much for listening. If you would like to give me your feedback, please comment below, or else you can DM me on Instagram. The account details are mentioned in my description. Thanks once again and see you guys next week.